The CBS Sports family of networks, the highest standard in sports television, including the CBS Sports Network, Showtime Sports, CBSSports.com, and the CBS Sports Radio Network. The best in sports online, on radio, and on the air. CBS Sports. Expect it here.
It was in June of 2006 that the National Guard AMA Pro Superbike Series first came to Miller Motorsports Park just outside of Salt Lake City. That day saw young Ben Spieth of Longview, Texas, rampage through the arid landscape with such gusto that even the legendary desert dweller, the Roadrunner, was impressed. That first victory would prove to be one of 5, which led to his 3 AMA Pro Championships and set him up for his 2009 World Superbike crown. No one has come close to matching his sand dune shenanigans. Well, one man just might. Last year's winner, Josh Hayes, comes to Utah with 7 season-to-date wins to his credit. Were he to win both of this weekend's Superbike races, his career total would rise to an astounding 64 wins, with 42 of those in Superbike. He already holds the second position on the all-time winners list for Superbike, ahead of such luminaries as Spieth and the fabled Miguel Duhamel. Today could bring him one step closer to clinching an unprecedented 4th consecutive championship. And with that, even Wile E. Coyote would be impressed.
Welcome to Miller Motorsports Park, located just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, and round 6 of this year's AMA Pro Superbike Championship presented by Yamaha, where the big question is whether anyone can stop the blue juggernaut known as Josh Hayes. Hi, I'm Paul Page, and I am delighted to have been invited to work along with the AMA and World Superbike champion Scott Russell and our expert pit reporter Danielle Teal for the back half of this season here on CBS Sports Network. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go back and take a look at what happened just a few weeks ago at Mazda Raceway Laguna. Don't let the nice guy act fool you. This man, Josh Hayes, is an animal when on the track. At the start, it wasn't Hayes, but his teammate Heron who grabbed the lead. But just watch as he manhandles his Yamaha and takes the lead. From that point on, Hayes was just doing laps. Meanwhile, a great battle ensued for second. Number 95, Roger Hayden, now on Heron's tail, comes in a little too hot, and he can't make the pass. Hayden tries on the Andretti hairpin for his next opportunity, but once again, too hot. The third time was the charm, though, for Hayden, who finally makes that pass stick. Unfortunately for Hayden, all that hard work was short-lived as he retires with a mechanical. It was business as usual for Hayes, who once again took the top spot on the podium. So the official results? Hayes once again up there at the top. His teammate Josh Heron alongside Martin Cardenas, Danny Eslick, and Chris Fillmore. Let's go to Scott.
Thank you, Paul. I'm down here with Josh Hayes, who will start on the pole again. Josh, you've been on the pole at every round this year. How was that session? Was it tough to get the pole here this weekend?
You know, it's been tough. Yesterday was really tough. This morning we found a little snafu we had made. Things have gone better, and I'm definitely looking forward to a good race. I think I have a great race bike, and I'm ready to go see what those boys can do because I know how fast my Yamaha is.
Well, let's see if the Mississippi Madman can do it again. Let's go check with Danielle Teal.
Scott, the number 6, Chris Clark, is ready to go racing. 5th was his best finish at Daytona this year. Since then, would you say, Chris, it's safe to say it's been disappointing?
Yeah, we definitely struggled a little bit, but we brought a different engine package to this race and looking forward to getting up to speed on it.
Chris is putting forth this new package and hopefully looking for a better result. Scott?
Thank you, Danielle. Bikes are getting all warmed up down here. I'm with the 72 foremost rider, Larry. After a good start at Daytona, it's been a bit of a rough season. Tell me about it.
It's one of those deals, you know. We started out real well at Daytona, 2 podiums, and then we slowly went downhill a little bit. You know, we found that I had to have the bike a little bit different than everybody else, and we've made those changes, and hopefully that's going to pay off today.
Well, you heard it there. Hopefully he could turn his season around here at Miller. Let's go back to Danielle Till.
Salt Lake City native Oleg Pionic is making his debut here at Miller Motorsports Park. He's at the far end of the pits. Great qualifying effort. What are your goals here today for your first race?
The goal is to show what the local team is all about. Wicked Audio stepped up and made it happen for us to be here, and we'd like to finish in the top 10 for our debut.
Look for the number 57, Oleg Pionic, making his debut here today. Paul?
Yeah, from Moscow, Russia, there are 6 different nations represented in our field here today. Well, we're now just moments away from the start of Superbike here at Tooele, just outside of Salt Lake City at Miller Motorsports Park.
Hi, this is comedian Alonzo Bowden. I love AMA Pro Road Racing on CBS Sports, and I support the Jordan team because they gave me a free hat.
AMA Pro Superbike on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. The lawyers at 1-800-MOTORCYCLE remind you to ride safe tonight. 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. Lawyers helping injured riders. Call or click anytime for a free consultation. And by Yamaha. Yamaha is the first name in motorsports.
And welcome back to the natural beauty of Miller Motorsports Park. Here are the points right now. And look at the top there. That's just a tribute to the 3-time and defending champion Josh Hayes and the year that he is having. And as we run into the end of the season, who knows where that is going to finish up, but I think you can probably guess. Well, let's meet Taylor Knapp. He's in his sophomore year in Superbike, but he is now riding an orange number 44 for KTM.
It's been pretty good for the most part for the first year. Obviously a learning year, been up and down, but we've shown some speed, and you know we're getting better every weekend. So pretty happy. Oh man, it's awesome. The twin, the bright orange. We got some new leathers this weekend here out at Miller Motorsports Park, and yeah, we're blinging pretty good. We look pretty bright and got the big twin rumbling, so people definitely notice us, I think. I think the fans like it, and they definitely hear us coming. Yeah, it's cool riding for KTM. I got a brand new 450 motocross bike this year, and been loving that for sure. Yeah, KTM, they got it all.
New leathers, you know that's going to help. Taylor Knapp just might be the next Moto champion. All right, as we get ready to go here, what are we going to look for, Scott?
Well, you got to watch for the Turn 1 mayhem, because it's a long run down to that Turn 1, and we know what can happen on the first lap, so keep your eye on that. And then second thing to watch is straightaway speed here. This is the second fastest racetrack that we'll visit this season at 185, 190 miles an hour to get down to Turn 1. And then the wind, as it's starting to pick up a little bit here in Utah, as it can do, could play havoc for the riders.
Well, now, those of you who follow regularly know that we ask our experts for predictions. Earlier today, they recorded their thinking. Danielle is always cool and smooth. Scott, oh, he gets interrupted. How did he do today?
After the consistency that this rider has shown in the last couple of races, I'm going to have to go with the number 95 of JD Beach in Daytona Sportbike. But in Superbike, at this point, it's hard to bet against anybody but the number 1 of Josh Hayes. Scott?
Thank you, Danielle. As you can see, I'm out here in the middle of the Utah desert. I think I can get this prediction in. As far as Daytona Sportbike goes, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Garrett Gerloff has got something for Cameron Bobier this weekend. As far as the Superbike goes, well, I got to tell you, I'm going to go with somebody else this weekend.
You know who's going to win this race. You know who's going to win this race. Why are you even trying? You guys like Laguna, baby? There's more where that come from. Uh-huh. You know who's winning.
Well, and here is the grid. Warm-up is already underway. Josh Hayes, once again, he's on the pole. His teammate alongside. The top 5 are the top 5 in the points. But let's think about Hayes and Herron for just a moment, because Herron is 25 pounds lighter than Hayes is, and it is a long drag race to the first turn. We'll see how acceleration works out there as we go down through this entire starting grid for you as they complete their warm-up lap.
Well, like you said, it's going to be a drag race down to turn 1. And then Josh Herron, don't forget, this is his closest qualifying effort to his teammate all year long. Let's take a look at this track map right here. Just a tick over 3 miles long. It's a very flat circuit out here. There's just a slight elevation change right here in this area. It's called the Attitudes. There's going to be down in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 area is a super fast section of racetrack. Then after that, it's going to get kind of technical. And as you make your way back around to the start-finish, it's pretty straightforward.
And let's take a look at the weather as they come back to assume their positions. 85 degrees out there. The sun has been bearing down on the track all day, Danielle.
And it feels like 100 down here. Marie-Josie Boucher, the number 83 out of Quebec, Canada, qualified 20th here for her first race in AMA Pro Superbike. She's one of the only females we've seen out here in a very long time.
That's good. Put a female in our Superbike field out of Montreal, Canada. So, we get ready. They're all set. They're on the field. It's going to be a drag race. That first turn is the Sunset Bend, they call it. I like it when they name the names rather than just turn 1 or 2.
This track's got full of names all around. This track got signs that set it.
Keep an eye on the 1 and 2 Yamahas. Let's see how they do. And we're running. Heading for that first turn. It's got to be well over a quarter mile to get down there. You can see Hayes got out in front. Herron ducked in right behind him. But is Herron going to carry more speed? No, he is not. Hayes is going to lead him through the first turn. That doesn't pretend good for Herron or, in fact, anybody else behind him right now.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who can hang on to the number 1 right now. It's like I said, the number 2 is as close as he's ever been in qualifying. So he wants to make a run at him down the inside and makes it happen right there in turn 3.
Look at that. Wow, they get so close. Here comes Hayden. Hayden's going to come up and attack Herron right now.
Well, that was a gutsy move because that's a fast corner right there, and you can see Paul where he ran out of road right there. Had to reel it back in, but man, he's made that ground back up real quick.
Cardenas tried to work for just a moment to try to get the position, third position away from Hayden. He couldn't do it, and already 1 and 2, the 2 Yamahas, the teammates begin to pull a little bit away.
Well, they've been pretty much the class of the field all year long, and now the 2 down the inside on the 7. What a great move by Josh Herron. He means business out here today.
He doesn't want anybody to even get alongside, let alone ahead, and certainly not his teammate.
Well, Hayes tried to go back underneath him as he went up into the Attitude section and had to fall back in. It's such a narrow line through there. Now the number 2 is trying to show his teammate the back of his bike, and we're going to have another look at that here. You can see, right, that's turn 3 area, and he runs a little bit out wide. Luckily, that paint and those gator teeth are out there where he could rebound and didn't run out into the dirt. So, good job of gaining control of that thing again.
And so now back to the front. And once again, it is Herron, then Hayes. Hayden right in there, but dropping back just a little bit now. Cardenas is right behind him. They come down the front stretch for the first time. 3,500 feet long. It's long here. I mean, you can think of Road America, but Road America runs uphill. This thing is flat.
It's flat, and we're at high altitude, but these guys are running right at 190 miles an hour on these big superbikes when they go to the break down there in turn 1.
In fact, let's talk about that as we watch this battle at the front of the field. The top 5 all running right together, led by Josh Herron, chased by his teammate Hayes right now. We're at an elevation of 4,400 feet. These are fuel-injected motorcycles, so the fuel injection helps, but it's still losing, maybe as many as 15 horsepower, and that can be quite a bit.
It is, and these big superbikes are pumping out around 200 horsepower, so they are, but they're still running some high speeds down here, and you can imagine if we were at sea level, they'd be pushing 200 miles an hour for sure.
So the other thing, though, we're talking about ambient air temperature at 85 degrees, but the sun shines down on this track. It gets hotter and hotter. What's that going to do to the tires? What's that going to do to the future? in the run for this day?
Well, it's definitely going to tax the tires for sure. Down there when I just left, it's 130 degrees on the racetrack right now. The 140-degree mark is where the Dunlop guys believe that they can start getting into some kind of trouble. So right now, we're just living right under that. And there's two options in tire. There's a medium compound and there's a medium hard, a dual compound tire. And I don't know exactly what all these riders have chosen, but I can guarantee you there's several different riders on different stuff out there.
Let's go to Danielle.
The number 54, Roger Hayden, has been working very hard to catch the Yamahas. What compound did you guys go with for this race weekend to try to stay with the Yamahas?
We ran with the single today, so we'll have to see how things play out. Hopefully we can get that National Guard Jordan Suzuki up there and win this thing. I know. I think Hayes went with the dual, so we're gonna have to see how this tire war plays out here.
And can you explain single to us?
It just means the tire is a single compound from the left to the right. The dual has a harder compound on the side of the track that we use more here, so we should have an advantage early and see how this plays out later in the race.
Hopefully the gamble plays off.
The duals are usually marked with a stripe on the right side of the tire, but at this speed, I can't tell.
It's hard to say, but yeah, it could come in. It's going to be an issue. It could be an issue for the 54. You know, going with the softer, medium all over the top, and you know, Hayes going playing it maybe a little bit safer. You know, going with that medium hard.
Roger Hayden's crew. You got to look there at the guys that help keep that machine on track and fast. Top four now pulling away, and it is still Herron that is out in front. Hayes is in second. Roger Hayden, who early on during the first practice really was a great deal faster than everybody else, but then finally everybody else was able to reel him in. The 36 of Cardenas is now in fourth place. As long as we're talking about the number 54, that's Hayden, his last two races really haven't been all that pleasant for him. Let's look at Mid-Ohio first.
Well, he comes on off that back straightaway, and you can see as he's hard braking into the corner right there, the bike gets all sideways, and he has nowhere to go but running off through that long gravel track. Did a good job of keeping it on two wheels right there. And then here at Laguna, over the top of the hill, turn one, you can see a tank slapper, and that what happened was the steering dampener failed on him, and he eventually had to park the motorcycle. It's just too dangerous to ride it like that.
That turned out to be a really good save too. Yeah,
really good save. So he's unfortunately he's had a great season, but those last two races have been rough on him.
Hayden continues to run here in third place with Cardenas right behind him at the front. You saw it, the number 2. That's Josh Herron, and his teammate Hayes is right behind him. Herron, you know, I talked to him a couple times this weekend, and it does eat at him that he can't get up there, he can't catch him. Part of it, you say, is physical.
Well, it's been an issue for him, and he'll admit it, you know. And now he's finally realized that I got to start training harder. You know, you take a chapter out of the book that number 1 has. That's what he does. He cycles all the time. He's as fit as anybody out here. And to ride one of these big super bikes, you got to be fit. And so Josh Herron has finally got his arms around that. He's riding his cycle. Now look, it's paying off right now.
And who is helping him? His teammate Josh Hayes. Really, he told him, he said, you got to buckle down. You really got to start exercising more. I mean, they're all fit. I mean, to be able to do this, to do a single lap on one of these machines, you have to be fit. But to run a race, you've got to be extraordinary.
And they're elite athletes, don't get me wrong. That's exactly right. And they really work hard at it. All 4 of these top guys right here are working so hard off the track to be as best they can when they come back to the track. And it's really paying off for Josh Herron right now in that number 2.
Let's go to Danielle.
That's right, the number 2, Josh Herron, is working very hard against his teammate Josh Hayes. Equal machinery, but it looks like Josh has just a little bit of an advantage over Hayes.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. The machines are equal. The riders are making the difference right now. Josh is really anxious to try and show what he can do when he's leading the race, and so that's his incentive, and we'll see how it plays out. But both Yamahas are running strong, and we're looking for a good result from both guys.
Now, is the fitness aspect of it paying off for Josh Herron?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's worked on his fitness for sure and his approach to the race weekend, and yeah, I think it's paying off. I think it's obvious that it's improving his results.
Again, talking about Herron, you really can see it in his eyes as you take a look at his team and the crew that helps him out with 5 of the 16 laps now complete. We're beyond the quarter of the way point, but you can see it affect him. I was watching him again, especially while his teammate was out, and Josh Herron had run some pretty good laps, and then suddenly Hayes is way out in front. You could just see the air kind of go out of him.
Yeah, he thought he had the pole, and he came in, and then Hayes went out and knocked another one in, and that's just kind of how it goes down. But right now, he felt like going into this that he is capable of racing with his teammate.
And there's Herron's girlfriend right now. Smile. She knows his guy's out in front. Hopefully he will stay there. At least that's her thinking.
Exactly. So, you know, he like I said, he feels like finally he can challenge his teammate. Now he's arrived at that point in the season. It took a while. It's taken a while, but he's there now. And Josh Hayes is kind of zoning in on him right now, just kind of picking him apart with the way he's riding and where that he might be stronger and where he might want to make a move.
And Tisha just, she's cheering Josh Herron on. And for the moment it's working, but look at this. Hayes is right back up on his tail. The only other rider that's able to stay with these two is Hayden right now. Cardenas has dropped back, and that's a surprise. He's almost, 1.6 seconds back. There you see him there. Here comes Cardenas through.
Well, I'll tell you what, Roger Hayden this year is really ridden out of his skin. He's rode great this year. Without barring some of those issues he's had, he would be up there in the points a little bit more. But he's definitely been the top Suzuki man right now, and that National Guard Suzuki team have given him a great motorcycle, and he's really riding the wheels off of it.
There you get a good look at the man from Medellin, Colombia. Martin Cardenas, 3.6 behind the leader right now. So the battle is those guys, the top three at the front, and there they are.
They're all tied together. This is the fastest section of the racetrack right here. They swoop through turn 4 right here down this infield straightaway.
And, you know, maybe the weight does make a little difference, because it does seem like, well, Herron either came off the corner a little better or accelerated a little better on that last set onto a straight.
There's no doubt the power to weight ratio is coming into play in that respect. As soon as he's able to get the bike upright and pull the trigger on that thing, he jets away just a little bit, but you can see Hayes makes it up on the brake. And right now it's keeping him really honest, and Hayden right there too, ready to pick up any pieces that they may drop.
The thing you see when you watch the #1 Yamaha of Hayes is how smooth he is. He's just gentle all the way. You'll see out of others a little jerk here and there. Hayes, you never seem to see that. He's just smooth.
He really is. He's so in tune with his motorcycle. They've really built the bike around him, and that Graves team is just top notch right now. The National Guard has really closed the gap on those guys. But Hayes, you can see him, he turns in a little bit earlier than his teammate. They've got a totally different style in riding, and you can take a look at Roger's lap times there.
His best lap time coming off of lap number 4, and so he's staying with him. There's no question about it, and he's right on top of the battle now. Every now and then he's able to close in, then the leaders pull away, but Roger Hayden is all over this thing.
Yeah, this is a nice run for him. He's got a good run right now on the #1. Let's see what the speed is right here on the 54 as he pulls out down that straightaway.
What can Hayden do? Can he get him here? It's going to be tight into the corner. Hayden's going to have the inside line. And how about that? Turn 1, they call it Sunset Bend, and now Hayden has gotten around Josh Hayes. So if Hayes wants to come back to his normal position, which is #1, he doesn't have just one, but 2 guys to reckon with.
Well, now he's made that pass. Let's see if he can ride off into the sunset. I don't know. He's got one more guy to deal with, but Roger Hayden means business. He's tired of coming close. He wants to win a race finally. This could be his chance. Hayes said, no, I'm going to take that spot back in the hard braking zone and down into 5. Runs it a little bit wide there, and he's able to get back underneath him.
See that bike chirp a little bit too?
They're kind of spinning it. They're steering it with the rear end right there. Paul's what's going on, and that traction control that they have on these motorcycles, they can dial it out a little bit. It's not total traction control. They do let it slip a little bit so they can turn it.
And Hayden had to give it away, at least for the moment, to Hayes. Look at this. Look how wide they both run.
I think they may have come together right there. That looked like Hayden touched the rear wheel of Hayes' bike.
And that, of course, gave Herron a little bit of an advantage as well. That's scary at these kind of speeds.
Here we go. Take another look. He stuck his nose down in there. Well, you better be sure if you're going to do that. And Hayes just chopped the nose off. Oh, he did. I don't know if he touched, but Roger had to get on the rear brake and backed it in. Roger had the bike sideways going into turn 7. You don't want to do that there.
If he didn't touch him, he sure got his attention. What kind of speed are we talking?
I got to believe it's 130 miles an hour when you turn into there, or maybe a little bit quicker. So now the 54's got all that to do over again.
course, Scott, you know this track very well because you spent most of the week out here teaching. And you have some aspiring young students, guys you think are going to do well?
Well, our school ranges from all different, from teenagers to people in their 70s. So there weren't many racers there at our school. Benny Solis came out and rode with us a little bit. But, yeah.
Good time, at least. We still watch the front two, Danielle.
The number 1, Josh Hayes, is having to work very hard here at Miller Motorsports Park. We know he doesn't want to be beat by the Suzuki, but he really doesn't want to be beat by his teammate.
No, I think every race we approach with a win in mind. That's the goal, and this race is just taking a little while to come to us, and then we'll see what happens. There's a little bit of race left, so it's pretty exciting, that's for sure.
Now, 8 of 16 now complete, as you see Jim Roach there. They're running down. We're just at the halfway point. In fact, on the lap itself, a little beyond that.
Well, this is good stuff right here because the two's definitely keeping him honest. Yeah, I mean, Josh is strong on the brakes, but that turn 5 really tightens up on himself on the exit. And so he's able to make the pass, but not able to hold the line yet.
I'm finding this absolutely remarkable. We did know that there was a potential advantage because of the weight difference, 25 pounds between Herrin and Hayes and the long straightaway. There's more to come from Miller Motorsports Park as you take a look at the Great Salt Lake and downtown Salt Lake City. And we welcome you back. Miller Motorsports Park, the Geico Motorcycle AMA Pro Road Racing Series, presented by Yamaha. And we've been on a long break, so what has happened during that break? What has changed? Nothing. Nothing at all. But it's not for the want of trying. Take a look at this.
Well, here we go. We got some action going on while we were at break, and you can see Hayes on the inside right there. As they come out of turn 5 right now, they're going to make the run down into 6. Hayes is going to look down the inside, but Herrin says, not today, my friend. Chops the front end off, and the number 2 still remains the leader today. And here we go again. Out of the attitude section. Watch the rear wheel of the number 1. Big slide right there as he comes to the throttle. So he's really putting that Dunlop tire to the test today.
So if the question is Hayes just letting it go or trying? Trying is the answer. He is all over the place trying to catch his teammate Josh Herrin on his number 2 Yamaha.
He's gone inside, he's gone outside, he's turning it early, he's doing all kind of different lines. They're both taking totally different lines on this stuff, but nevertheless they keep coming out together. But when they hit the straightaway, the 2 jets away. Now look at the 54.
Look at this. Here comes Hayden as he's going to try Hayes again. Tried it earlier. It didn't work. Doesn't look like it's going to work this time either.
Well, Hayden's done a great job to rebound from that mistake he made earlier in the race where he ran wide in turn 7. And he went and clicked off a half a second off these guys to reel them back in. So the 54 has really got a great setup in that National Guard Suzuki, and he's really riding it to the tee right now. Now those Yamahas are going to battle. If they get together, he's going to be right there.
Hey, you talk about a guy like Hayes, number 1 motorcycle right there, 3-time champion, as he tries to come to the inside, just that smooth. That's where the grace comes in. Look at that pass. But look now at Hayden. Is Hayden going to come in? Herrin hangs on to it. Hayes makes that move to the inside. Herrin just comes around, stays in his position, and through that set, nothing changes.
And here we go. Back there, Hayden's going to try that move again right down the inside, and it didn't work again. That's where he got his nose cut off, and he had to run wide. He had to do it all over again to catch these guys again. He tried that move again. That's brave.
And normally we try to show what's going on back in the field, but when you got stuff like this going, we got to stay right here with this. This is so powerful.
We haven't had a superbike race like this in too long. I tell you what, this is a real battle royale. And the number 2 and the number 1. Here he goes again.
Tries it again. Looks good, but what about the exit? And this time he is able to nose ahead. And Hayes has it, but still, here comes Herrin right back. And Hayden is right in there. The 3H guys, Herrin, Hayes, Hayden, they continue to fight.
Now watch the number 2 right here. We've seen him jet away on the straightaways every lap. Now he's in the back. He's going to have to drag by him.
And that's something that where we think the weight difference makes a difference. Slam the brakes down 3 gears, into Sunset Bend. Little mayhem here in turn 1.
There it is.
And now we got it again.
Nicely done. by Josh Herron. He's solid right now. He's not made too many mistakes. Hayes is just battling him everywhere. He wants to just, they keep swinging
right
at each
in
other.
there, side by side once again, and this time it is Hayes that comes out ahead. Does it get much better than this? This is super.
This is the corner where Hayes keeps trying to make the move, and he runs wide every time. And again, he runs wide.
And there goes Herron looking to the inside. And once again, we've got a change. This is super. How many changes? Like 5 in the last 3 laps?
It's been amazing. You don't see these kind of mistakes by the number 1 ever. And so now he's being pressured. He's put in a different situation than he's been in all year long and been in for a long time. So now with the heat's on and he keeps running wide in that corner, he's going to have to clean that up if he wants to win this race.
But what is that saying about Josh Hayes? You'd think 3 championships in a row, looking for his 4th, that he'd just be the cool, calm professional, not let stuff like that bother him. Is that happening, or is maybe something on the motorcycle problem?
Exactly, Paul. I was going to allude to the fact that it may be a setup issue right now. The 54 down the inside, that's not going to happen. But right now, the number 1, like you said, it could be a bit of a setup problem. But right now, he doesn't want his teammate. That's the last guy you want to beat you.
Well, as we continue to watch the leaders here, and it is right now Herron, Hayes, and then Hayden, we've seen some great action in the past few minutes. These guys have been all over the place as they go back and forth. Again, the front straight, 3,500 feet. Hayden makes a move to the inside. And can he get Hayes here? He's in the right position. And Hayes drops back to 3rd. Look how far Herron, though, is over the bike. He is really handling that thing.
He really uses his body to keep that thing turning.
All right, so now as we watch the live action on the left, that's the replay on the left. We'll keep the live battle for the lead down there on the right, but look at these just in the past few laps.
Yeah, Hayes makes that move in clubhouse corner, and then we're going to go back to the front straightaway where Herron pays him back as he drafts by him down into turn 1, was able to hold the position. And then here we go again. They're still going at it right now. Hayes is going to dive down the inside into turn 3 right here. And he's going to hold that position until they get down to turn 5 right here, where he goes in, and he's made a couple mistakes here throughout the race, and that's uncharacteristic of himself. So maybe it is a setup problem right now. And that'll be something he'll be able to maybe adjust for tomorrow's race.
You know, I know what this is all about. This is about him messing with you and your prediction. This is payback right here.
Well, we've been right every time. I don't know. I moved out in the desert. It may have changed things.
So now Hayden runs up in 2nd place with Herron. Look at the distance now. Hayden and Herron now pulling away a little bit.
This is interesting stuff. We don't see this, and we haven't seen this in quite some time. Josh Hayes getting it handed to him right now. I mean, these two guys, they're out for blood today. I mean, they've had enough of this number 1 just taking over the series. And he's the hardest man to beat out here right now. But these 2 riders, Josh Herron and Roger Hayden, are riding a great race.
You got to think about it for Herron. No wins last year, none this year. You got to go back 2 years since he has had a win. He had 5 that year, but man, this is going to break a long drought for him if he can get it all the way to the finish.
Something to think about. We don't really know what Josh Herron's taking for tire choice, so that'll be interesting to see what happens here at the end.
Danielle.
There's a great battle going on between 1st and 3rd. Roger's making moves. We see him stuck. He stuck one on the number 1 of Josh Hayes, but we see him backing out of a lot. Is that the tire issue coming into play?
It may be. At this point, I think Hayes really made the wrong choice. He's got nothing left on the left, to put it bluntly, and you can see that by us being able to drive him down the straight, which our Suzuki hasn't done in a while. And you got to thank the guys back at the shop. Shane building these motors, done a great job, and Pete putting development into this bike. It says a lot for this National Guard Michael Jordan team.
Now we see Josh Hayes sticking with him, so maybe the tire issue will affect them both in the end. Do you think Roger has what it takes?
This is anybody's ball game at this point. It comes down to attrition, the heat. I mean, there's nothing left in these things. I know our bike on empty fuel load works really well, so I mean, this could be anybody's race.
And he just made the point for us. It could be. It could be Herron. It could be Hayden. It seems doubtful for Hayes right now. And you and I spent a lot of time with the tire engineers during practice and qualifying yesterday. That was the big conversation. What are you going to start on? What are you going to use? The track surface is actually a little abrasive, and there's also a lot of dust that tends to drift across this track.
Well, you got to know that Hayes wanted to probably play it safe. You know, I guess he didn't have the feeling in the medium compound and decided to go with the dual compound just to play it safe. But now it looks like the two front runners might have went with that medium all across the board. Not sure what the 2 has on, but we know the 54 has the single compound tire, and it is paying off right now at the end of the race.
Well, while Herron is looking for his first win in Superbike, Hayden has had a win. I'll take you back to Miami-Dade when he got his win a year ago. So, is that too long today?
It's been too long, and he's ready for another one. He's going to look down inside right here.
He's trying hard on the brakes there. You saw the wiggle.
That's the corner where everybody keeps running wide at. And there you go again. Herron runs just a little bit wide, but able to get that Yamaha turned and back on the gas.
2 laps to go now between Josh Herron and his first win. This is going to be terrific as he holds on. Hayes is fading now. It's between Hayden and Herron all the way.
I tell you, Hayden's really strong to be able to reel those 2 Yamahas back in after that early race mistake.
Hayden's crew watching on. Boy, there's some nail biting going on there. If anybody knows how to do it, though, it's one of the members of the Hayden family, that whole gang from Owensboro, Kentucky. And we're getting a lot of conversation about what his brother Nicky Hayden is doing now, because he's not going to be with Ducati MotoGP next year. So the family's got a lot going on right now, and they may have a win coming. Hayes, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he can catch anybody. Tires may be gone there.
You know, he may have been smart and maybe laid back for those few laps and kind of let his tire cool down, because look, he's caught back up to these guys. When they come by the line, there's only going to be 1 lap to go. So does he have anything left in the tank?
And that works. You can do a little bit of heat cycling on these tires. He did drop back a bit, did take it easy. Here we come into that first turn. And this time Hayes closes up.
He does, and I got to believe what he's thinking in his helmet. He said, I got to get close to these guys because I know Roger's going to make a move somewhere. And if it goes wrong, then I'll be there, and maybe I can get this win back.
Yeah, he's just got to keep an eye more on Hayden than what Herron's doing now. He's got to place himself so that he's in the right position once Hayden makes that move, which has to come any moment now.
I got to believe it's going to come at this next corner. Look at Hayden sideways out of there.
Wow.
Full stick right there down the inside.
Here comes Hayden to the inside and to the lead. Hayden now has the lead, but look at Herron back on the inside. Can he hold down there? Yes, he does. Hayden has to drop back to second, but at the same time, Hayes closes in that much more. What a final lap this is turning out to be. Herron is out in front, the number 2 Yamaha. Hayden in very hot pursuit on 54. Hayes just watching. He's hoping for one little bobble, one little mistake, especially on a pass that might give him the lead back.
Well, Herron, is so important for Herron to keep it clean right now. He can make no mistakes. The 54 is all over the rear wheel of him. And we know Roger's good as they got in the clubhouse. One more turn, then they're going to make that straightaway run down into the clubhouse. Can he make a move there?
2 men driving with all the skill they possess on these incredible superbikes. Here they come.
Oh, he got down the inside of him.
And no, Herron is able to hold on.
Wow, that was awesome by Josh Herron.
Well, I thought he had him. I thought he had him.
I mean, he did it all he could right here. Now he's got one
now
more
on the
shot.
inside, got to move to the left. He's not going to do it there. Oh, what a race this has been. As they come now onto that long straightaway and under the checker, and Josh Herron has his win. Hayden is there in second, and Josh Hayes is going to have to settle for third. What a run that was. That's absolutely incredible. Who would ever have guessed? Yeah, he said, calm down now, you're the winner, you got it all done. Yes, I do.
And he knows what a great race that Herron just rode. The race of his life right there.
What a good kid. Danielle.
I'm here with fiance of Josh Herron, Tisha Kitterman. Tisha, I know you're watching nervously, but another win for Josh Herron here this weekend.
Yeah, it was great. He's been working really hard for this and training in the heat, and it's his first real Superbike win, you know, where Hayes wasn't out, and he's going to be really excited.
You know, that does have to be special, your first Superbike win. And now that happens to belong to Josh Herron, who has won here at Miller Motorsports Park. We'll be right back. Oh, you have just witnessed one of those moments when man and machine turn into a work of art. And this was the battle the entire day. Josh Herron getting ahead of his teammate, Josh Hayes, who came in, took the lead away from him. That wasn't the first time. This went on all day.
It was an amazing race. This was by far the best Superbike race we've seen all year long. Number 2 really took it to his teammate. They went back and forth. And finally, though, I tell you, Josh Hayes had to give in. I think his tire gave up in the end.
And Hayden was riding hard the entire time. He got around Hayes and began to challenge for the lead of the race. Couple of times, we thought he had it, like right here. But no, then Herron would come right back. Herron drove like a man possessed today. Let's go down to Danielle.
The number 2 controlled basically the entire race pace. Josh, a legitimate win for you. That's 3 this season. How good does that feel to know that this was your win? Not to mention this really helps in your chances for a championship.
Yeah, it feels amazing. It's also nice to come in and know that I won the race. But, you know, I think we just made a really good choice on tires today. Paid off in the end, and it's the first time I've ever been able to lead a Superbike race or even a 600 race. So all the hard work I've been putting at home on my Specialized bicycle sure seems to be paying off. Huge thanks to my trainer, Greg Dorenzo, all the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha crew, Mitch, Bryce, Chris Lessing, my crew chief Rick Hobbs, Keith McCarty, Chuck Graves, Tom Howerson, Ron Heben, everybody that helps. Got to thank my fiance Tisha, my family, my friends, and just everybody that helps. Thank you very much.
Well, congratulations. The first Superbike win for Josh Herron. Here are the final results. It's Herron, followed by Hayden and Hayes. Cardenas was back, but he still managed to pull out a 4th. And you look down through the rest of the field on what we have seen as an absolutely great Superbike race here today, just a little west of Salt Lake City, Nevada.
AMA Pro Superbike on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. The lawyers at 1-800-MOTORCYCLE remind you to ride safe tonight. 1-800-MOTORCYCLE. Lawyers helping injured riders. Call or click anytime for a free consultation. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Get a free rate quote today.
And welcome back to Salt Lake. I know it's in Utah. Got a little excited. Danielle?
It looks like the tire gamble paid off for the number 54, Roger Hayden. Roger, it looks like you're having to work very hard in that race, and are you already thinking ahead to tomorrow?
Yeah, we're thinking a little bit about tomorrow, but man, that was a great race for me and the whole National Guard Michael Jordan Motorsports team. We've had some tough luck, but we kept our head down, and this is the result we've been looking for, just one more spot. And you know, this one's for the crew because we've been struggling on top speed, and today all their hard work paid off.
And over to the number 1 of Josh Hayes in an uncharacteristic race for him. He made a couple mistakes. Josh, congratulations nonetheless, but would you say it was a setup issue? You did have a few moments there.
Oh, I just got beat today. I rode my butt off, and those boys rode really well. We took a little gamble with the rear tire, and, you know, so I don't know. I think I have a plan for tomorrow, though, and I'm looking forward to coming back and taking another shot at those boys.
Well, I got a feeling that was payback for him messing with you, Scott, on your prediction earlier. What a great day. What a great moment when you actually see a guy get his very first win in Superbike and what that has to do for him. And it's been over a year for Josh Herron since he's actually had a win of any kind whatsoever. So a very special day for Josh Hayes too, because now he knows he's a little bit vulnerable, and of course we've seen a good run out of Hayden as well. And we'll have coverage for you on Sunday as well. Sport Bike race number 2, and then Superbike race number 1. For Scott Russell, Danielle Teal, and our entire team, I'm Paul Page. This has been a presentation of Chet Burks Productions in association with CBS Sports Network. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to CBSSports.com.